Welcome, welcome to another episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. Happy Friday, everybody. This is a happy Friday. Actually, we just did get a little burst of good news towards the end of the day, which I'm happy to share with you all. And let's see who we have here. We got a whole lot of people here. Nice to see you. Let me just Okay. I want to cover the stories of the day, but let me just put this little graphic on the screen. Here we go.
Stories of the day.
Damn, that burst my eardrums. Yes, stories of the day. So let's briefly discuss our top 3 stories of the day. Our topic is Rudy Screwed, Hunter fights back, and impeachment inquiry. So we just learned that a jury, he was already determined guilty, but a jury just decided to award Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss millions. I said millions of dollars. How many millions? We will discuss. Hunter Biden, constantly the object of attacks from the right, decided to fight back this week. And last but not least, Mike Johnson and the MAGA House Republicans have voted to move forward to proceed with an impeachment inquiry minus evidence. Zero evidence. So let's see, who do we have here in the heezy? Of course, there's Zelda is first again, followed by that damn Alaskan, Sandra from Paramount, California. Audrey, to you, I haven't seen you in a minute. Meredith Powell, Carolina Albert, or is it Carolina? Carolina. Simon is here. Simon Metcalf, everybody. Meredith Powell, Shell Paulette, Cecile Kazemi, Patricia Haverkamp is here, Monique Lee, Punxsutawney Mo, that damn Karen, Monique Lee, Shane Leach. Shane says he's only worth $1.48. Oh, that's sad. Cha-Cha is here, and Stacy Gilbert. Glad to have you guys. Thank you for joining us today. So as you know, today is Friday, which for me, hey, Laurie B, I see you there. Welcome, Laurie B. And Israel Macario has found me on Threads. Ha! By the way, I did finally. I'm trying to get myself more into using Threads. I feel like I kind of have to, because Twitter is doing some stupid stuff. Before I go any further, let me just remind you guys, if you're just joining us here, please remember to hit the subscribe button. It should be in the lower right corner of your screen. Hit the subscribe so that you don't miss any new content. We do this thing every week. Story time with a BDD. And also, please make sure you hit that like button. That also helps the algorithm or whatever. That's what the kids say. Before I jump into that, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So I was talking about how I'm trying to start using Threads more, because Twitter is doing something very, very funky. In fact, you might have seen me tweet about this a while ago. Now, what has been happening is that some people, some maybe bot farms, someone has targeted myself, as well as people, like larger left-wing accounts, larger progressive, larger democratic accounts on Twitter has targeted us. So here, this is a website called Social Blade, and then they're not endorsing me or anything. I'm not sponsored by them, but this is something I've been using to track my follower loss and gain. So if you see here on the screen on the left side, you see a lot of red, and so those reds you see there, those are followers lost. So here, Thursday, December 7th, it says I lost 14,000 followers. On December 10th, 15,000 followers I lost. So when I add up all the red between the 7th and the 15th, I have lost a total of 39,000 followers. So what's the big deal, Brooklyn Dad? You have over a million, sure. And, I'm grateful for the 1.2 million followers I have. But here's the problem. The problem with that sudden loss and then gain and loss of followers is that there's a thing that's called the reputation score. It's a reputation score. And when you suddenly lose like a huge chunk of followers, your score takes a hit. And then the reach of your content is depleted. It's diminished. So who knows, man? If that's how they want to play, that's fine. I have other means of getting the message out. I'm not leaving Twitter, but I got to take some of my eggs out of that basket. That's how it is. I see Valerie G has joined us here. Welcome, Valerie G. Sherry Scary is there. Annie wants to know, what is my name on Threads? My name on Threads is at MM or you can look up Brooklyn Dad Defiant, but I think it's at MMPADELLAN. Hello, Aries Wanderer. I see you too. Um, so yeah, so let's go ahead and move right along. I did the last time we had the show. I said I was going to try to break up my content with the good news and the bad news. So let's start off with the good news here. As I told you guys last week, Wifey and I have been watching this series by a guy named Taylor Sheridan called 1883. We wiped past that and we finished another show called 1923, and it's about the Dutton family who migrated from. Oh, Sandra, thank you so much for the kind donation. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Um, so the Dutton family migrated from, I think, I want to say Tennessee all the way out to Montana, where they established a ranch. And then that ranch grew and grew and grew. 1923, it shows a continuation of the development of their empire, right? Starring Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren. Great actors, great performances. Holy cow, Zelda, thank you so kindly, my friend. I greatly appreciate the very generous donation. Thank you so much. And so now, after having finished 1923, and by the way, it was one of those cliffhangers like, oh man, I can't believe they ended there. I don't even know how long we have to wait, but we have to wait a while for the next installment. But while we're waiting, we will work our way through Yellowstone, which I believe was actually the very first show, and the other two, 1883 and 1923, were developed afterwards, like as prequels. So Yellowstone stars Kevin Costner as the patriarch of this family, of the Dutton family. And I'll say this: as the show starts off, there's not a whole lot of really likable characters here. It took some, like, Wifey and I had to really hang in there because we know that the payoff is going to be good. This guy Taylor Sheridan is a really good producer, and I'm glad we stuck in there because this is an excellent show. There are broken people here, very flawed, and that's what life is. We're all flawed. So it's a great show. I highly recommend it. Yellowstone. I believe we're watching this on. What are we watching it on? It's on Peacock, and it's got commercials. Whatever, it's fine. And tonight, wifey and I will be hopefully watching a bit of Reacher season two. So Reacher, long story short, this was a movie. This was originally a book, and then it was adapted into a movie starring Tom Cruise. And fans of the book hated Tom Cruise in this movie because Tom Cruise is a little guy. You know, he's fierce, he's big on the screen, but he's only like, you know, 5'8" or whatever. And the main character, Jack Reacher, is a giant of a man, and that's how he's described. And on this Amazon Prime show, Jack Reacher is a giant. He is enormous, and so it's fun watching him, you know, distribute justice with his very large, meaty fists. It's a very good show, very entertaining. So there's that. And last but not least, I think we're gonna possibly over the weekend check out this movie that just opened up on Apple TV. It's called The Family Plan, and it's starring Mark Wahlberg. And as I believe someone has told me that Mark Wahlberg is possibly a Trumper, or if he's not a Trumper, he's a Republican. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. I can make that separation, believe it or not. Like, if somebody's a Republican but they make good movies, then I'm watching it, you know, like Bruce Willis. I know Bruce Willis is a Republican. I love his movies. Feel sad about Bruce Willis too. And not gonna lie, that I just, you know, I'm a Bruce Willis fan. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's a Republican, but he's like one of those. He's a Republican, but he's not a Trumper, and he's made that very, very clear. So that's the immediate movie and TV show watching plan for this weekend. Um, First Lady Jill Biden rolled out her Christmas presentation for 2023. Okay, Sherry Scary says she doesn't think Mark Wahlberg is MAGA. Okay, well, that's good to know. Like I said, even if he was, but it's really good to know that he's not a James Woods, so to speak. But yeah, Dr. Jill Biden unveiled her Christmas, her celebration of Christmas for the White House. And let me just say, I like music. I like musicals. I like singing. I like dancing. Fun fact, long time ago when Brooklyn Dad was a skinny 130-pound dude, before even my first son was born, I was tap dancing. I was a tap dancer. I did take tap lessons for 6 months. I wasn't great. I wasn't great at it, but I did learn the basics of tap, and it's fun. Anyway, with that said, um, Jill Biden did something very different um, with her Christmas celebration, in that she invited a dancing troupe that did a number to an interpretation of the Nutcracker song, you know, the dun 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 dun. You know that. You guys know that song. Anyway, um, I'm going to share what this was, and we'll see you on the other side. That was a whole lot of fun. I love that performance. It's fantastical, fantastic. Now, with that said, MAGA heads were exploding. Were exploding online the other day. I couldn't believe it. Like, hang on a second, guys. Come on. This is not the war on Christmas. This is Christmas. There's Christmas trees. There's Christmas ornaments. There's music. It's festive. It's happy. How can you not like this? Come on. Come on, Grinches. What's the problem? So there were some some people were like, this is blasphemy. What? Some folks found took issue with the fact that the birth of Jesus Christ was not mentioned. Why? Why is the birth of Jesus Christ mentioned on every single Christmas song? Huh? Is it that thing that Mariah Carey sings? Is she talking about birth of Christ? No. And fun fact, he wasn't born on Christmas. Just so you know, I think many people know that already. Ridiculous. Anyway, um, I saw, let's see, but here, Shane Lee says, great stuff after melanoma, melanomia, or whatever her name is, Handmaid's Tale Christmas. Wait, I have that. Hang on. There. It's Christmas as seen in The Shining, you know. Yeah, indeed. Crazy. They prefer this. You know what I think personally? I think they didn't like it because I don't know, maybe because there's black people in it. Hey, Monique Lee, thank you so kindly. Thank you for that a kind donation. Maybe it's because there was jazz, you know, maybe some people, you know, they can't get with jazz. Jazz is kind of like a black music. And you know what, honestly, I don't like to put things on race, but sometimes with MAGA, it is just that simple. Because what else? What else could it possibly be? Huh? Seriously. Get over yourselves, MAGA. Come on now. That's not, you know, happy holidays. That's Christmas. That's straight up Christmas. And besides, it's not like it's not like you have a recording of Jill Biden saying, I can't stand this fucking Christmas or whatever it was she said. Oh my goodness. Uh let's see. Is that oh yeah, wait. Who the fuck? Who gives a fuck about the Christmas? That's what she said. Unbelievable. Okay, next up we have Hunter Biden. So, as you guys know, the right wing has been besides themselves about his dick pics, and you know they're all over the drug addiction that he had. God forbid that the man is a human being, and yeah, he had a weakness. I understand everything about having a drug addiction, and it's not pretty. It's your least proud moments in life is the least proud anybody could be, you know. It's the worst anybody will ever see you. And as you can see, he has cleaned himself up very well. But anyway, they don't really care so much about the fact that he was addicted to drugs. They just are searching, reaching for anything they can to um, batter President Biden about. This is President Biden's sole surviving son. His other son was lost to cancer, and he loves his son as we love our kids, and our kids love us. And come on, now you know, and they've just been going after Hunter Biden like the buzzards that they are, buzzards. And he had mostly, for the most part, been quiet up until late, and finally he stepped out. Um, James Comer and Jim Jordan were like, "Oh, we want to subpoena you." Oh, really? You want to subpoena Hunter Biden, but you yourself, Jim Jordan, uh, cannot comply with a congressional subpoena yourself? This is the height of hypocrisy. So the other day, so Hunter Biden offered to testify, but not in a closed door hearing, in a public hearing. Why? What's the deal? What's the difference? It's a huge difference. In a closed door hearing, they can say anything they want. They can mischaracterize his comments. And you know what? Who would know? Who would know? Because we wouldn't be able to see it. Um, so yeah. Anyway, the other day he had a press conference. I've never seen him actually do a press conference, and he called them out, and I thought it was a thing of beauty. I thought it was pitch perfect, and I'm going to share that with you right now.
For 6 years, MAGA Republicans, including members of the House committees who are in a closed-door session right now, have impugned my character, invaded my privacy, attacked my wife, my children, my family, and my friends. They've ridiculed my struggle with addiction, they've belittled my recovery, and they have tried to dehumanize me, all to embarrass and damage my father, who has devoted his entire public life to service. For 6 years, I have been the target of the unrelenting Trump attack machine, shouting, "Where's Hunter?" Well, here's my answer. I am here. Let me state as clearly as I can. My father was not financially involved in my business, not as a practicing lawyer, not as a board member of Burisma, not in my partnership with a Chinese private businessman, not in my investments at home nor abroad, and certainly not as an artist. During my battle with addiction, my parents were there for me. They literally saved my life. They helped me in ways that I will never be able to repay. And of course, they would never expect me to. And in the depths of my addiction, I was extremely irresponsible with my finances. But to suggest that is grounds for an impeachment inquiry is beyond the absurd.
Yeah. So first off, he says, "Where's Hunter? Where's Hunter? I'm right here, bitches. I'm right here." Let's see. Oh yeah, I think that guy. I agree with you guys. That AK audits, I believe that is a troll. So yeah. Bye bye. So he said, "Where's Hunter? I'm right here, bitches." Second thing, I thought this was hilarious. He said, the word financial, right? And you could feel like the earth shaking when he said that. My father was not financially involved, and all of MAGA world was like, he said financially. That means he was involved in other ways. We got him, guys. Guys, we got him. We got him. He said financially. He said he made a distinction. He said financially. That means other ways. Of course. Yeah. Okay. So what you mean to say is that in prepared statements, he accidentally, intentionally like gave you the key to taking him and his father down. Get a grip. Get a grip of yourselves, people. Get a grip. You know what? If Republicans spent a fraction, just a fraction, not half, not a third, but just a fraction of the time and energy that they expend in dirty tricks, in bullshit, and just straight up fake news. I hate to use the phrase fake news, but for lack of a better term, misinformation. If they spent a fraction of their time and energy focused on real solutions, huh? You've been in office, you've had the House for over a year, right? What have you done? What bills have you passed? Because I know when Democrats had the House, when we had control of the House, we were passing a different bill every month, maybe 2 bills a month. We were getting busy, busy. Democrats did not waste a second. Thus far, Republicans have done nothing but waste time. Whether they're complaining about gas stoves, they're complaining about drag shows, they're banning books. Come on, guys. You know, there are real Americans that need real help. They complain about the border, and what do? They vote against the border. They vote against border funding. Now they want to hold funding for Ukraine. They want to hold it hostage unless we do something on the border. That's a whole nother topic, by the way. The the border. The border and immigration is a whole different thing that's not going to be addressed by a band-aid solution, by a knee-jerk reaction. It's going to be addressed by 8 to 12 people, a gang of 8, gang of 12, four Republicans and 4 Democrats, or 6 Republicans and 6 Democrats. Get them to sit down in a room and thoughtfully hammer out some real solutions. This is what must happen, not this lurching from, controversy to controversy, and using the issue of immigration as a battering ram against the other side. With all that said, I say this Hunter Biden thing is yet another distraction because the Republicans have nothing. They have nothing else. All right. So, with that said, let's get back to business. And here's a big deal. It's a very big deal. I apologize for the picture on your screens right now, ladies and gentlemen. That was an excerpt from the the infamous shoe dye or hair dye press conference Rudy Giuliani was in with Sidney Powell and Jenna Ellis. So today, at long last, we've learned that the result of deliberations in the defamation case against Rudy Giuliani by election workers Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, the jury was in deliberation for a little bit over a day, a little bit more than 24 hours, and they came up with a whopping $148 million combined. Like, holy shit. Wow. Wow. Hey, philosophy, ladies and gentlemen. Philosophy is in the room. Welcome, my friend. Glad to have you here. Who else did I miss? Did I miss Samantha Hawkins and Watcher Soko? I see you too. I see you, both of you. Trump Reaper, I got you too. Claudia. Mr. Okay, anyway, sorry. Back to Rudy Giuliani. Earlier this week, literally earlier this week, might have been Monday or Tuesday, he was, Meredith said, can we take that picture down there? I knew somebody was going to say that. I said, let me cue up something less scary, less triggering. Earlier this week, reporters caught up with Rudy Giuliani and they asked him if he felt any regret about what had happened, what he had said about Shay Moss and Ruby Freeman. And he said, I'm looking for it because I wrote it down. What did he say? Of course, I wrote it down, but I don't have it here. Basically, he said, no, I'm not sorry. I don't regret it. I spoke the truth. And he said, more will be revealed. Stay tuned. Well, more was revealed. And sure enough, the jury decided that Rudy is full of shit. and they wanted to send a message. This is what all the commentators were talking about. Hello, Pam Ham. And thank you, my friend. Thank you very kindly for that generous donation. Thank you, buddy. Um, all the commentators were saying that jurors would possibly want to send a message to anyone else who would consider slandering somebody, not just slandering, but keep in mind at the time that he was making these comments, even though he was on his way out as Trump's, stooge, his legal beagle or whatever, his lawyer, Rudy Giuliani still had some status as a public figure, right? And he had therefore had a very big platform to say stuff. And when he was talking directly to MAGA World. And MAGA World is what attacked Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss with threats and with harassment. And she even went, Shay Moss went to an interview. She was trying to get a job with Chick-fil-A. I'm sorry, why are you applying to Chick-fil-A? Didn't you get the memo? Anyway, fun fact, I still, to date, have not tried Chick-fil-A. And that's not to say that I haven't been tempted. I have very, very much been tempted. I want to know why every time I drive past a Chick-fil-A, why the line is a ridiculous line. There's so many people waiting, for the drive-through, waiting for Chick-fil-A sandwiches. I am curious. I'm only human. I want to know. But I don't want to eat hate burgers or hate sandwiches. So I'm fine. Same thing goes with bacon, by the way. I've never I've never tried actual bacon. I've had beef bacon before. People tell me it's not the same as pork bacon, but I don't eat pork. I never have, never will. So same goes for the Chick-fil-A sandwiches. Oh, Trump Reaper says their chicken is boring. Anyway, so she went to Shay Moss went to an interview at Chick-fil-A, and the interviewer, I guess he punched up her name online, and then he turns the screen around and shows her, and in bold letters across the top of the screen, he might have been reading something like Breitbart or something, and across the top of the screen is the word traitor, bold all caps, and he says, "Is this you?" Holy shit! She's trying to get a job, right? And these lies are affecting her livelihood, and she and her mom, they couldn't go anywhere because they've been harassed and vilified by Trump and Giuliani. So I'm very glad for this sentencing. Now people are saying that that it's not likely that they are going to be able to collect because so many different reasons, where they're saying Rudy Giuliani is broke. I don't believe that. He's got an apartment that's worth at least $6 million. And he's got assets, and he's probably got money coming in from somewhere. He cannot possibly, you don't get to that stage in life without having some kind of income. And he did, and he does. I'm sure of it. Excuse me. But yeah, he said that he was going to appeal right after the verdict. And sure enough, that jackass once again doubled down and said that that he was telling the truth, and the truth will bear out, and all that shit. Valerie G wants to know, can't they get his apartment and any other properties he owns? I would like to think so. I believe if it was you or I, one of us, they would have our shit. My car, my little jalopy. You're not going to get much value out of my car. It's currently Blue Book value is, I think, only $7,000. So, you're not getting much out of me. But Rudy, I'm sure he's got a stash somewhere. They just have to find out. Oh, the pinky rings. Wait, Rain here says he can hawk those tacky pinky rings. I bet she's got a bunch of those too. Okay. Um, so I am very happy for Shay Moss and Ruby Freeman. There's the two of them on the screen right now. They seem like very nice people, and they were thrust into what I can only imagine was hell. Was hell. Like, it's tough enough for me. You guys see all the shit that I endure online, but it's just, it's shit. But these two were subjected to some very serious threats and specific threats to their physical safety. So I hope they're able to move past that and reclaim their lives. And yeah. Before I move on, I just want to remind you, if you're just joining us, please remember to hit the subscribe button and also hit the like. It's the thumbs up. Hit the like button, please. That's right, Simon. To paraphrase Samuel L. Jackson, you don't dig on swine. That is correct. All right. Okay, so we're moving into the bad stuff now. By now, I'm sure many of you have heard of the Texas Supreme Court verdict that they were not going to allow Kate Cox to get the abortion that she needs. She has a pregnancy that has been determined to be non-viable. It means that once the child is born, the child will not be able to survive long outside of the womb. It's non-viable pregnancy. And not only that, there is a severe risk to her ability. She's got a family already. It's not like, she's just a teenager out there and she made a mistake. No, they wanted this child. But as a result of the condition that the child has, it won't be able to live. It will suffer. And her own ability to have children in the future is in jeopardy if she goes through full term with this pregnancy. But now the Texas Supreme Court has forbidden her to get an abortion. And this is one of those cases, when they talk about exceptions, to rape and medical exceptions, exceptions to the life of the mother. This is one of those instances where, if she can't get one, then nobody can, right? And again, I've said this 1,000 times before. I'll say it again. Like, this should not be anybody's business except her and her doctor. That's it. What the hell are these people from this Texas Supreme Court? And it infuriates me that there are women sitting on the Texas Supreme Court. Naturally, they're I guess they're making their decision based on Christianity, maybe Catholicism, or whatever their religion is. Keep your religion out of her womb, out of our bedrooms, out of our lives. It has no place other than in your place of worship. Why should your religion affect our ability to plan our families the way we want to plan them, to love our partners the way we want to love them? Come on, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. There's a group known as Mothers Against Greg Abbott. And Mothers Against Greg Abbott, the acronym is MAGA. It's MAGA. That's right, Zelda. My body, my choice. They made a big deal about not wanting to wear masks using this slogan during COVID, when their decision could have affected the health of people who are immunocompromised and everyone else around them. They didn't give a shit. No, I don't want it. My body, my choice. But now with actual lives in the balance, they don't want to adhere to the same principle. Mothers Against Greg Abbott has been doing some excellent work, and I wanted to share with you a video that they produced about a year ago, July of 2022. And let's see. This attack ad from a year ago. Boom. Check this out.
Thank you for your patience. There's no easy way to say this, but your baby has a catastrophic brain abnormality.
What does that mean?
It means that parts of her brain didn't form. Your daughter, if she is to survive, will live only a matter of hours after birth. During that time, she will experience a multitude of seizures and ultimately aspirate on her own bodily fluids. She will suffer. A decision will need to be made on termination. I wish I could tell you what to do, but there is only one person who can make this choice.
How much time do I have?
And that person is Greg.
Greg?
Who the f*** is Greg?
Yeah, let me just give him a call. Hey, Greg. Dr. Robinson here. Listen, I've got a pregnancy that could... Yes, but I think this one is the... Yes, okay. Sure. Okay, I'll let them know. Yeah, that's going to be a no. Best of luck to you.
Wow. Holy shit. I mean, wow. When I first saw that ad, it made me feel some kind of way, like it's they hit you with the left with a very serious topic, and the tears are coming down, and then they go with the goofy music and the just first of all, it's uncanny how similar that character's situation is to Kate Cox right now. And secondly, then the doctor comes in. The doctor says there's only one person who can make that decision, and your brain is following along with this, and you're like, yeah, of course, it's her. And he's like, it's Greg Abbott. And the husband's like, who the fuck is Greg? And then, of course, he says no. And that's no laughing matter. But this is a brilliant delivery system for the very serious subject that is abortion. And nobody wants to have an abortion. Nobody wants that. It's a terrible choice to have to make, but it's a choice, it's a decision, and it's personal, and it's hers. It's not his, it's hers. There's so many instances where there's a child who's been raped by her uncle or father, and I see disgusting comments online when they're spreading their nonsense in opposition to abortion. Well, ladies just have to keep their legs crossed. What do you think that 12-year-old girl was doing? She was just against her will. It's horrible. It's horrible. So Mothers Against Greg Abbott, they are staying busy, and if you're not following them yet, they're solid. Just the other day, was it yesterday? We were recognizing the 11-year anniversary of Sandy Hook. the Sandy Hook massacre. And for those of you, if you're not familiar with it, it was when 26 children and staff, I believe that was included 20 children like or kindergarten age, were murdered, shot by an AR-15 wielding maniac, who then, I think, I forget if he was shot by police or took his own life. But, you would have thought after that happened, you would have thought that would be it. That would be it, that we would see some serious movement towards gun control solutions, right? And at the very least, let's get that assault weapons ban reenacted. That made a very big difference, when during the 90s, until it expired in the 2000s. But nothing. And I remember the sinking feeling in my heart, like after we were unable to get any action after Sandy Hook. I was like, wow, what is it going to take? And since then there have been dozens more school shootings, and not just in schools, in grocery stores, supermarkets, churches, movie theaters, music venues, concerts, you name it, it's happened there. And so the other day we acknowledged the loss of those lives, and the Mothers Against Greg Abbott produced yet another brilliant video, and I'm going to cue that up for you right now. You guys are getting a lot of videos from me today. This one is just as poignant. If you haven't seen it yet, you're not going to want to miss this. So let's see. Let's share this full screen. Let's go.
Please, God, save her. Do something. Save her. Please save her. Please.
My thoughts and prayers are with you.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts.
Prayers. Thoughts and prayers!
Once again, holy shit. Holy shit. Wow. And I know we're all saying, thoughts and prayers are meaningless, but to see it acted out in that manner is nothing short of stunning. By the way, I don't know if there's any eagle eye watchers in the audience today, but that guy with the lawn, I just noticed this is like my fifth or sixth time watching that. The guy with the lawnmower who said thoughts and prayers, that was the doctor from the abortion video. So if you wanted to see it again or share that video, it is on my Twitter thread somewhere. So have a look at that. Really, really poignant content that these guys are creating. And you can see in this picture here, let's cross out thoughts and prayers and let's embrace policy and change. That really is the only thing that is going to get it done. And one more reminder to subscribe and like. You know what to do. Make it happen. Last but not least, let's talk about the impeachment inquiry that Republicans and Democrats voted on it, and it was basically a party line vote Republicans were able to pass this, despite the fact that a sizable number of Republicans have said, Republicans in Congress, in the House and in the Senate, have said, I don't see any evidence to support impeaching the president. Even people on Fox News, y'all, Fox News, Steve Ducey, probably the dumbest guy on the Fox and Friends roster. He's like, there's no evidence. Yeah, it's stunning. So, so they have passed this impeachment inquiry, despite the fact that what are you impeaching him for? Ask them what crime are you hoping to impeach the president for? What is it? They have nothing. They'll try to, they'll try to filibuster and talk you around in circles. Well, you see, there's compelling evidence that some kind of financial crime, influence peddling. Yeah, no, you have nothing. If you were to ask us in 2018, what were we impeaching President Donald Trump for, we would say, oh, he tried to extort Ukraine in exchange for dirt on his political opponent. That was very crisp and clear. It was not vague. It was very specific. Abuse of power, and I forget what else it was. It was two things that we were impeaching him for. It was very clear, and there were witnesses to corroborate. There was a paper trail, whole 9 yards. There was a lot of experts who showed up to testify, and he was impeached. He was not convicted by the Senate, but he was impeached by the House. Fast forward to 2021, after January 6th. January 6th, we had bipartisan agreement that Donald Trump was culpable. He was responsible for the events that transpired on that day. And not only was he responsible for the events that transpired, he was responsible for failing to act for hours, for 187 minutes. He refused to do anything to quell the violence. He refused. Both parties agreed. Yeah, it wasn't like, a landslide of agreement, but there were enough people in the Republican Party to say this is a bipartisan agreement. And still, hang on a second. I seem to recall Mike Johnson saying something about not doing a single party impeachment. Let's see if I can find it here. Hang on. Okay, I don't have it, but but needless to say, back in 2019, Mike Johnson said that damn, I'm still looking for it. Yeah, and also I need to add also that Democrats were trying to get Republicans to put the words open and transparent back into the wording for an amendment on the impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. Oh, let's see. We have had enough. Here we go. We have had enough political impeachments in this country, Mike Johnson said in 2019. I don't like the stonewalling. Oh no, this is recent. He said, I don't like the stonewalling the administration has done, but listen, if we don't have the receipts, then we should constrain what the House does. That was recently. It's hard to put a finger on what the hell Republicans are thinking. What are they thinking? Aside from the fact that, they are desperate. They have nothing. They have nothing to show for all of the big talk that they made about things that they were going to do. If you put me in office, if you elect me, I'm going to make sure we reduce crime. I haven't heard them talk about anything about crime except as it relates to Hunter Biden, who clearly is not responsible for the majority of crime happening in the United States. Okay. So they've done nothing about crime. They haven't done anything about inflation. Thanks to President Biden, inflation rates are dropping. And despite what you will hear from the right wing, it's a good thing. It is a good thing. The economy actually happens to be doing very well. And that vexes Republicans too. They hate to hear that the third quarter GDP was 5.2%. That's massive. Donald Trump was trying to hit 3% in the 4 years he was in office, couldn't hit 3%. President Biden got to 5.2. The other day, the stock market, the Dow Jones crossed the 37,000 point mark. 37,000, first time in history. This is something that Donald Trump was celebrating when it crossed, 27,000. He was making a big deal. Woohoo! I did that. He didn't do that. And Joe didn't do that. But still, it's an important benchmark if you think that the economy, excuse me, if you think that Wall Street equals the economy. It doesn't, but some people look at the performance of Wall Street as a sign of a healthy, robust economy. Well, 37,000 then. There you go. Oh, we don't care about that. We don't talk about that. What is it, guys? The things that are good for Donald Trump are bad for Joe Biden. Is that it? Huh? Is that the stupid game you're playing? It's ridiculous. President Biden has done nothing but create jobs, but bring back manufacturing to America, semiconductors and chips. You complain about China having this technological advantage over us. We're doing the necessary things to gain an edge back. China's economy is shit right now. We are busting their asses. So going into 2024, Republicans are freaking the hell out that, the country's not perfect. Grocery prices could be lower, but gas prices went down too. And again, it's something that President Biden has no control over. He doesn't have control over gas prices. But again, they use that as a marker. Oh, we had $2 gas under President Trump. That's because nobody was driving anywhere. There was a pandemic. We were on lockdown. Yeah, that's why prices were so low, because there was no demand for anything. Once the economy opened up again, yeah, of course, now people are demanding stuff. And then the demand got bottlenecked because there was so much demand and very few ways of getting it to us. The prices went up. Bada bing, bada boom. So I want to talk about, while we're on the topic of President Biden, here's the thing that irritates the crap out of me. The whole thing about age, right? I've figured out why they don't care that Trump is only 3 years younger than President Biden. This is it. They don't care that President Biden is physically fit, that he can ride a bike, that he he stays physically active, and he's limber. He can stretch and do all that. You've never seen Donald Trump even break into a jog. You've never seen Trump break into a jog. Not one time. You've seen President Biden do that plenty. Did he stumble over a sandbag like almost a year or two ago, whatever? Yeah, he did, because somebody left it where he couldn't see it. But is he tripping over sandbags every day? No. You take something that is this and you make it into something that's big. It's bullshit. But the reason they have an issue with his age is because, if I'm being honest, sometimes when I watch and listen to President Biden speak, he does kind of sound old. He's got he's got old man voice. He's got old man voice. And I don't know what the fix is to that. But if you're going to get on him about having old man voice, the people who were supporting Robert F. Kennedy should stand up and then sit the fuck down. Because Robert F. Kennedy, I know he's got a physical thing that causes that voice, but that's old man voice. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., way younger than President Biden, has old man voice. So get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Does he seem old? Sometimes when you look at Donald Trump and President Biden, yeah, President Biden seems older, in his mannerisms or whatever. I don't give a shit. I trust President Biden. I don't trust Donald Trump. Donald Trump said he would be a dictator for a day, and I'm not letting him slide off of that. No way, no how. Dictator for a day is bullshit. Nobody becomes dictator for a day and then abdicates that control. He's not going to do that. He's already making a list and checking it twice of all the people who are going to go along with his dictatorial impulses. That Project 2025 thing that we were talking about last week is a list of everybody who's going to swear fealty to him, unquestioned fealty. That shit is a plan. That is a definite plan. So, no, I don't trust that motherfucker as far as I could throw him. And I couldn't throw him an inch. I made an analogy last night on my Twitter feed. Check it out. It's pretty good, actually. I said, if I needed a pilot for a plane, and my only two choices were, one, an older guy who has a stutter, but has decades of experience, and has a son who had a drug problem at some point, versus two, I had this other guy used to fly the plane, but then he was fired because why the hell now I can't remember. I can't remember what my own damn analogy was, but hang on. I'm gonna find it because this was here we go. Or a guy who was 3 years younger but previously flew the plane and allowed many passengers to die from a virus because he wanted to play it down, which caused many of the workers to lose their jobs. And when they fired him, he tried to crash the plane because he was afraid he'd go to prison for all of his crimes if he didn't have that job. Yeah, I'm picking the older guy with the stutter. Thank you. Thank you. That's my tweet from last night. It's pretty good. I like it. So Meredith Powell wants to know, she's asking, don't you think they kind of have Newsom waiting in the wings? I saw that. I don't think so. I think, honestly, if it comes down to that Gavin Newsom is going to have to step in the fourth quarter, in the last minute of the fourth quarter, then we've lost. No, I don't buy that. I think Biden is the guy that brought us to the dance. This is interesting from Trump Reaper. Democrats ought to start actively campaigning now using fear as a campaign tactic. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Trump Reaper. Fear is actually a very powerful motivator. I don't know if fear this early on is going to be useful. I think I hear you and I agree, but I think not now. I think now we want to push as many people in with the positive, with everything that we have achieved thus far and everything that we can achieve in a second Biden administration. That's what I believe. That's the way to move forward. Closer to the election, when the clock is ticking and you want to get people off the fence, that's when the fear. That's when you use the fear. That's when the October surprise. I don't even know what the October surprise has in store for us. But Republicans tried an October surprise the last time, and it was a big swing and a miss because they had that Hunter Biden laptop thing, and it turned into a big nothing burger. They've already wasted that. I can't imagine what their next October surprise is going to be. Probably will have something to do with artificial intelligence. I'm calling it now. So we shall see. But yeah, I like Gavin Newsom. I don't think he's the answer. I think the answer is the guy is President Biden. People get nervous about him. I don't see why. He's done very, very well. He's done better than I could have hoped for. It's not that he was just not Trump. He didn't spend excuse me, he didn't spend his time in office just being the other guy, just being not Trump. No, he passed an agenda that you could put side by side to FDR, easily one of the top 3 presidents of all in history, in American history. You could put him side by side with FDR. Maybe he doesn't match up perfectly, but pretty damn close. Pretty damn close. Yeah. I see Samantha Hawkins agreeing with me here. Well, too soon for the fear tactic. Must push the positive narrative right now. Right now. This is an interesting comment from Meredith Powell. The smartest thing Democrats have ever done is run young candidates with records who people weren't sick of, Clinton and Obama. Although, I should remind you that when Bill Clinton came out, he had a reputation. I think they were calling him Slick Willie. Slick Willie. That's what they called him. And they were implying that he was sneaky, I guess he was. That whole thing with Monica Lewinsky happened. He was impeached. Oh, that's an interesting recollection. He was impeached, but then he somehow became more popular. I don't know if the same result will occur with President Biden. I don't think they have enough. Frankly, I don't think Republicans have anything to impeach President Biden for. They've been looking for years now. They've been looking. If they had something, they would have already uncorked that thing for 2020. Come on. You're going to go through his financial records with a fine-tooth comb and then find something that, you can try to draw some kind of insinuation from. That's what they're going to do. That is their plan. Their plan is to just create the illusion of guilt, not find guilt. They don't care about guilt. Just create the illusion. Yeah. They can keep that impeachment inquiry open without impeaching him. And then on October 20th, between the 20th and the 30th, he'll come out with something saying, an explosive revelation we have just uncovered in our impeachment inquiry. We cannot move forward. Maybe they'll announce an impeachment, a formal impeachment, around October 21st, something like that, I imagine. So yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, folks. Any questions for me before I get my Friday pizza and movie night kicked off? What are your questions and concernicuses? What do you got? Let's see. Let me turn this down here. Let me see if I put on a little cheddar biscuits. Okay, Meredith wants to know what movie tonight. Tonight is going to be a little bit of Reacher season 2, and then we're going to probably watch that Mark Wahlberg movie, The Family Plan. Philosophy wants to know, what do you think the end result is with Trump? I think Trump is going to be convicted on definitely at least one of the things that he's been indicted for. At least one. I don't know if Fani Willis's case is going to be decided before the election, and that's disappointing, because I would have bet money that he's definitely getting convicted in Fulton County. But one of the other 4 or 5 cases that he's involved in, he will be convicted for. The furry babies are wonderful. They're endless source of joy. I was telling wifey last night, like, I've had cats my whole life, since I was a kid. But I don't think I've ever had the kind of relationship with cats that I've had in the family as I do with these 2 right now. These 2 are, they've wormed their way into my heart right now. And Rainey, she's daddy's girl. Let's see. Kit-taculars. I don't know what are kit-taculars? Asked Mila J. Cha-Cha, oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Cha-Cha, for the special holiday gift. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Why can we not stop the big lie spreaders from continuing to lie and incite? Because there is a market for that. And when I say there's a market for that, I mean money. It is big business. The conspiracy thing, it's huge. That's what Donald Trump has used to raise money, to fundraise, are these conspiracies, successfully, probably well over $100 million, just on keeping that going. And yes, Sherry Scary, of course, pizza for Din Din every Friday night without fail. What's on my pizza? It's a good one. We just purchased a week or 2 ago some turkey pepperoni. So there's that. But the kind of pizza we're eating tonight is frozen, and it's barbecue, chicken, and onion. California Kitchens. It's very good. It's very good. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. And if you have not yet gotten your shot, I don't know what to do with you. I don't know what to tell you. You got to do it. You must do it. Damn it. So let me turn this off here. So I look forward to seeing you folks same time, same place. I love you all. Peace.